Today's guest is from Columbus, Ohio, and went to University of Ohio. He is a former Defensive Player of the Year in the CFL and a six-time CFL All Star for the Montreal Alouettes. He holds 3 CFL records, including career fumble return yards, most career fumble return touchdowns, and the record for longest fumble return, which was 108 yards in 2011. Cox also holds several Alouettes records, including most career tackles, 979, most single-season defensive tackles, 115, and most defensive tackles in a single game. Welcome to the show, Chip.
Thank you.
I'm about to call you Chip Record Breaker Cox. I didn't know you had all. I didn't know you had all them records, man.
I didn't either. I didn't know I was that close to 1,000 tackles. I mean, I just got to get it on the field this year, just one more time, man, to get 1,000. I just got to get 1,000 tackles. I mean, come on, I can get 20 tackles and put me at free safety or something.
You trying to be Mr. 3,000?
Yeah, I just want 1,000, just Mr. 1,000. I just need 1,000 tackles. That would be awesome. I didn't realize I was that close. Now I didn't realize I was that close.
You really want to come back, don't you?
I just want to get 1,000. I mean, bro, I can still play. I can still run.
I know you can still play.
Like, that's the biggest thing. I can still run. And, like, you put me in any DB room, I'll still be probably top 3 fastest guys in the room. That's the thing. Like, I shouldn't, like, that's where I'm at. Like, if I'm one of the fastest guys in the room, I should be able to play. And how many times did you see me in the training room when you were in Montreal?
Not very many times. That's one of the things, man. You were always durable. You always made it work.
Exactly. So, I mean, it just didn't, and I ain't like was ever trying to break the bank. I always, did what was right by the team or what the team asked me to do, as long as it was, taking care of my family at the same time, because it was never about the money. So, yeah, that's it.
But why is it so hard to just be satisfied with what you've done and just say, you know what, that's some hell of a numbers, and I'm done? What makes you even want to go back, even though you can still play? Because I feel like I can still play, but I have no desire to go back out there, because at the end of the day, I feel like, what am I really proving?
Man, I don't know, Nick. That's a good question. I like running around, man. I like playing. I like running around. I like playing. I mean, I built my body to do that. That's the number one thing. And I just still like to be out there. I never liked meeting rooms and all that. I never liked that. But when we went out to practice, it was never like, oh man, we got practice today. I didn't care. We got 2 days. Okay. All right, let's go play. Yeah. It was always, and I've always liked that. I never lost that. And I am satisfied. Don't get me wrong. Like, when people hear me talk, I mean, I know people hear, like, when I do say some stuff, it sounds like I'm maybe complaining. No, I'm not complaining. I'm definitely satisfied. I'm happy with what I've done. Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. I'm competitive. So if I can still compete at a high level and go out there and play with the guys, like I would like to do that. But if it doesn't happen, I'll be fine. Obviously, like, you got to live with that. It's not my decision at this point, so I'll be good. But I'm competitive and I want to go play, and I like being able to line up in front of somebody and I don't even know what they're doing, but I'm gonna be able to stop what they're doing.
Yeah. So when would be enough? Like, what do you think? Is there an age? Is there a stat line? At what point? Because I know if you go back, you're not gonna want to just play one game or one season.
Nah, I wouldn't say. Well, I talked to, like, Chris Dishman. That was my DB coach my last year, and I talked to him. Yeah, I do too. And I asked him. I said, "When did you know it was time to give it up?" And he said, "When I was spending more time in the training room trying to get on the field than I could in the film room and actually playing." And I was like, "Well, I ain't reached that point." You know what I mean? Like, and I was never tired of the process. So that's it. And I I can still do it. I tell people, I'm a realist. If I couldn't outrun you, if I couldn't, like, I know I'm not gonna be the fastest guy on somebody's team anymore. I know that.
But you still run.
I can still run. I'll be one of the fastest guys in your DB room. You can bet on that.
I remember the two things for me was when I seen Kyrie's hit BJ Cunningham in practice that day, I knew right then we were practicing and we were on two different levels of what our thought process was. and one day at practice, I think you might have guarded me one time, and I was like, yeah, I think my career's over.
Is it when you did the double move and I stayed?
Man, I don't have no double move.
Yeah.
I just got a little wiggle and a jiggle. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I never had that moment. I never had that moment. It was never a moment in practice where I was like, man, I got to stay. Like, how am I staying in front of this guy? Or, dang, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Or it's never a moment in the game where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. Obviously, you have bad games.
Yeah.
But, like, there was never, like, I was never going home like, man, I couldn't get to that play. Like, is something wrong? Or, this is a little harder this morning getting up than it was before.
Yeah.
That way, I never got to reach that point. And maybe it's a blessing that I never got to reach that point, because I'll still have my health and I can still talk stuff to my son and tell him he ain't nothing till he can outrun me. Hopefully I tell him that now. He's 6, but I'm like, bro, little man, you're not gonna be nothing till you can outrun me, and that's gonna be till you about 14 or 15. And he's like, what you talking about, Dad? And I talked to my little cousins. She's a track star. And I told her, I was like, well, I can probably still run a 10.8, so you ain't gonna never be able to outrun me. And she's like an 11.8 girl. So, those type of things, just competitive with my athletic, with my athleticism. So I'll be able to do that for a while with my younger generation, because I never got to reach that point on the field where it was like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Was 2017 your last season?
2018.
2017 was my last year.
Yeah. And
I played hurt that year.
Hurt. Yeah. I played the whole season hurt. Nobody knew. But except for like your teammates.
Teammates knew.
Yeah.
Was that the hardest thing you ever done? Like just thinking back, because being hurt that year, you were asked to do so much. You moved back and forth from Sam to safety.
That was it was hard because it wasn't hard to do it because I knew what I was doing it for. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I knew I was doing it for the franchise, for the team. Like, it was never about me. So, and it was like I was looking around and like, who do we have? Because that was the year we were running. We didn't have anybody.
Yeah,
and we were short. So I'm like, and obviously, the GM pulled me in. And me being everybody told me not to do it, but me being a team guy, and he was like, we want you to do this, and me thinking like, all right, this is just what the team wants me to do, and this is what's best for the team. I did what they asked me to do because it's what's best for the team, right? Because that's what we're taught, And I never in a million years like thought that it would have, hurt me like it did. My wife was telling me like, nah. That's a chess move. Like, don't do it. And I wasn't playing chess. I was playing football. I wasn't playing chess. Like, I wasn't playing, the back and forth game. It was like, I'm gonna do it, And then playing injured, like, I do that anytime because it's just what it is.
But it was
like,
a type of injury, though.
Right.
It's a type of injury. Like you really couldn't run. You were hobbled, and whenever you put out bad film, sometimes. It's really hard to overcome, especially when we get older and we make more money.
Yeah.
So you're older, you make more money, and then they're out there. See, they put you in a corner to want to pressure you to play. I remember I told you need to sit down.
You did, yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure RP told you to sit down. Like,
I had a coach tell me I need to sit down.
Yeah.
I won't tell you the coach's name, but I had a coach tell me, man, you should sit down, man. And I'm like, hey, who we gonna have? Like, what we, and I wasn't thinking about it's putting out bad film and it's making me look old, and I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was just playing football.
You still look 22 though, Chip.
That's what hey, that's my age. That's what I tell people. That's how
red don't crack.
I got. Well, we would have been in the same position back then. We'd have still been owned by the same. Back in the day, we'd have still been owned by the same people.
Plantations.
Too. Yeah, if I would have acted up, they would have hit me with the whip too.
The thing I find most fascinating is before I got to Montreal, like I never seen a Chip Cox interview, never heard you really talk. Knew you talk a little bit on the field, but it's super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Is this different for you to be able to do interviews like this or to do podcasts or do things like this?
I mean, when I was playing ball, I didn't want to talk because I just wanted to play football. And talking wasn't playing football. And, talking didn't feed my family either.
Yeah.
And me, like when I showed up, I worked. When it was over, even after the game, I was out of the shower before you guys came in the locker room because football was done. So it was time for me to get back to my family.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I felt like talking was just taking time away from my family more than anything. Now all I got is time with my family. So I got a little more time to talk. I can do podcasts and stuff because, I mean, I don't do anything except for hang out with the kids and my wife. So
how's COVID life been?
It shut our gym down for I think 3 or 4 months.
Really?
And that was scary. Because you that's our income. That pays our bills.
Yeah.
And when that stops, it's like, whoa, what you doing? Like this is paying my bills. Like, hold on. But then me and my wife sat down and looked at everything, and we were like, we could probably do this we'll be fine for a while. And it was like, let's just enjoy the time that we have with nothing because I mean, our life is busy. Our kids usually play 2 sports in each season. So like in the spring, they're doing track and softball. In the winter, this year, all 3 of them will be wrestling and playing basketball.
They don't play flag football too.
Yeah, and in the fall, they're playing flag football. And what else? They played another sport, volleyball. My son didn't play 2 sports this year in the fall, but we're always busy. So like we took the time and we're like, all right, so we're not going to be running from the gym to practices to back to the gym, picking kids up and doing that. Let's just take this time to just sit and watch movies and, do that. Obviously, everything we do is always together, but it's always a going back and forth, going there.
Yeah.
And we just like, after we sat down and looked at everything, I was like, we'll be fine for a while. And let's just take this time as a blessing. Obviously, for some people, it's not a blessing. And we acknowledge that too.
Yeah.
It's like, but for us, this can be a timeout because we'll never get this time where we have nothing to do but hang out with the kids and they're not in a sport or it's just sitting there cuddled on the couch watching movies all day.
Yeah.
Obviously, we still went to the gym because we ain't, yeah. Even though
you couldn't open it to other people, but I'm pretty sure y'all was working out.
Yeah, exactly. And I would have went stir crazy if I couldn't do something.
Yeah, I was telling people, I was, especially at the beginning of COVID, I was saying you got to reset and reload. Like if your life is not headed in the direction you wanted it to, or not where you thought you were going to be in life, this was a great opportunity to sit back and just prepare yourself. I got a lot of work done over COVID.
Yeah. I didn't, I like I said, I just spent time with the family and that's it. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. That's what I tell people I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. Cause when I do it, I'm going to head down that path 100% like I did with football. And hopefully I can fall in love with whatever I decide to do next.
You think that's the reason why you want to go back and play is because you haven't found something that can fill that void of the competition and of just the nature. It's just so different being in that locker room, walking by and just laughing and things that go on in the locker room, man. It's just so different not being in there anymore.
I don't know. It might be, but again, I didn't spend much time in the locker room.
You didn't see me drink no beers in the locker room?
Nick, I never saw you drive. I saw you walk through one time after a game with one. I seen you walk through with after a game, and I said something to you, but I was on my way out already.
Yeah.
You know, like don't get me wrong. I enjoyed being around the guys, but I enjoy competing against them more than anything. You know, I talked to maybe 4 people that I played ball with over the last. I played ball since, you know, actually 30 years of my life, but the 13, 14 years of professional, I only talked to about 4 or 5 people still.
That's crazy.
And yeah, like, and I mean, those people we close, we cool. Like we're family basically. And everybody else is, I mean, acquaintances and friends, but like, it was, I ain't really like hanging out with guys. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I had a wife.
I never seen you hanging out with anybody.
Yeah, it wasn't never it was just playing, man. It was just running around and playing. That's really what I enjoyed about it, and that's what I miss about it. It wasn't. I don't miss having them young guys in the locker room and me looking like, what they talking about. You know, like I called my wife one time and was like, babe, yeah, it's official because these young guys talk at minicamp one year. I was like, I ain't know nothing that they were talking about. I didn't know anything they were talking about, and I didn't know any of the songs they were talking about. And I was like, I called my wife. I was like, babe, I'm old. She's like, what you mean? I said, first of all, I couldn't understand what the young guys were saying, and I couldn't understand their music. So I knew I was old at that point. But
what music do you listen to?
I listen to country and hip hop. And R&B, you know what I mean? Those are my.
You said country first.
Country music, yeah.
I listen to country probably first too.
Well, no, I probably if you get in my car right now, it's probably on a hip hop station, but like I'll change it to country if I'm taking. Like I listen to country too. I do listen to country music.
What's your go-to in country music?
Well, Florida Georgia Line is always.
Yeah.
You know, I like them. Trace Atkins is pretty good. All them guys, man.
You like 90s country?
Yeah, I like them. I love 90s country because that's what I grew up on. My mom. Yeah.
You listen to 90s alternative? With Sublime and Nirvana and Offspring and Three Doors Down.
I would know the song before I would know the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much Oasis. There's so much good SoundCloud. There's so much good 90s alternative music. And
this is how bad I am, Nick. I don't even have any music on my phone.
Wow. Come on, Chip.
I don't even have any music on my phone. Like I'll go to the weight room and not even play any music. The only time music is playing is if somebody come in there and they put music on.
See, I can't do it. Because to me, music is a mood.
Yeah.
So I listen to, I can almost do pretty much anything. I love, so many different types of music. Most of the time I'm listening to either country or R&B. Unless I'm going out to a club or something, I don't really listen to too much hip hop. Sometimes when I'm on the spin bike, I listen to hip hop. Sometimes I listen to country or R&B.
Yeah.
But there's just so many different vibes. And I always know what type of mood I'm in by the type of music I want to listen to at that time.
Right.
And then when I'm in the car, I listen to usually sports talk or some kind of conversation. I don't really listen to.
I like listening to when I'm in the car in the morning. I mean, because I'm only in the car for about 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes.
Lulu Logic podcast? That's what you be listening to? Oh, okay.
I listen to there you go. No, I listen to what's the guy name? Ricky Smiley in the morning.
Yeah, I like Ricky Smiley.
I like his conversations and stuff, especially with all the stuff that was going on in the world with the election and all that stuff. He was giving, and he bring people in there that would give you, would give you a straight down the line rules, laws, and how things are not being followed. It wasn't a partisan side or anything like that. It would be like, this is how things are. This is how the rules are lined up. So it helps you make your own decisions, but at the same time, seeing what's going on.
I see you voted. You and your wife voted.
Yes.
How is the country right now? It's just like it is divided.
Oh, well, yeah, because we live in a very we live in a very Donald Trump country right now in my county where we
What does
live.
that mean?
When we drive by, there's flags everywhere that say Donald Trump. It's almost, see, this is the thing with the Donald Trump thing. What was scary to me is like, it was almost like, if you read the history books, it's almost like Hitler-like.
Yeah.
You had never seen anybody worship a man like that. And that is what was scary to me.
Especially
like,
Christians.
Right. Like,
when they said no false prophets, right? You're only supposed to praise God, right? Like,
right. But like, everybody's praising this man. And I'm like, wait a second. So you don't see the stuff that he's done in his past, and you don't see the stuff that he's doing now that's wrong? Forget policies. Forget if I think this should, like, if I think this person should have, help, or forget that stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that this man has done and is still doing. And you praising him like that?
Yeah.
I understand if you vote, like if you say, well, he's on my side, I follow his policies and I agree with that. Then you don't praise him. You stick with what your policies, and that's what you're voting on your policies.
Yeah.
But to actually be praising him and he can do no, like, come on, bro. Everybody does wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody, exactly.
Everybody do wrong.
Everybody does wrong. So like, let's not, that is what was scary to me about that. So
yeah, it is dangerous. It's very dangerous how people can make things look, and just the power of his words puts people in a very different situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about policy, and I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'll vote either way. Right.
Neither, yeah.
I think both of them don't care about me unless I make enough money to put money in their campaign. So
right.
So I don't ever get into that.
At
but
the same sense, that's kind of their job, right? Is to get renominated. Like, it's not, if you don't help me get renominated, then why? That's their job. Like, I mean, obviously they're supposed to care about people and all that, but at the end of the day, if they care about people and nobody's voting for them, then they have to care about the people who vote for them, or the people who can help them get reelected.
Yeah. What do you feel about the fear culture that I feel like the Republican Party is playing right now, where they try to make you fear everything? Like, they're coming for your neighborhoods, or they're, they're going to cancel Christmas, or they're going to, they're evil, and like all this stuff. It just divides.
It's ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. Like, to be honest, it's ridiculous. I'm like, let's look at it. How bad does in America? Okay, so I've gone to third world countries. I've walked into people's houses and it was a dirt floor.
Yeah.
And they don't have running water. But you know what? They all had smiles on their face. They were happy. Like, if that changed me when I I've done it a few times, and it was like the last time I walked into someone's house, and it was, they didn't know who I was or anything. I wasn't with a mission or any, I was with a local, and I told him I wanted to go see the worst of the worst, and let's just go, take me to see the country. I want to see what this country is really about, like what the lowest of the low. I want to see everything. And when I walk into the house and these people have smiles on their face and they're just happy, and the kids are sitting over there playing and they're genuinely happy, and they have, like, in our eyes, they don't have anything. And it was like, I started looking at things different from then on. It was like, if they can be happy with that, there's nothing really you can do to not make me happy at this point. Because, I mean, what we would call poverty, they were smiling and happy.
I think, especially in the US, I think you're raised to want more, or to want everything, or want it all.
Yeah.
Right. Even in sports, like,
I guess you just asked me the same question. When are you going to be happy, right?
Yeah.
With what I've done. You just asked me that. It's, I'm happy with I'm happy with what I've done, but I'm saying,
You still know there's more.
There's still more, exactly. That's it.
Yeah. What country were you in?
Well, I mean, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Mexico, just in the Bahamas, just to name a few.
Man,
those are the ones that I've been to.
Time out. Now, me and my wife was walking around Dominican, and we see
people. It wasn't me and my wife, though. That's the thing. It wasn't.
No,
me and my wife.
Just saying. What's up? We seen people with sawed-off shotguns walking around with like ARs and things like that. It was a very sketchy situation. Like, you don't go off the beaten path in those countries, but you went with a local. Let's dive into this. How do you even get into the conversation with a local to take? How do you know they're not gonna rob you or kill you?
I don't have nothing, man. I ain't got nothing on me.
I know that, but they don't know that.
They see me with no, but I'm in just clothes, man. I have more faith in people than a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have more faith. Like, I've always lived like, if you live in fear, if you fear what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You can really only learn by experience. I can.
Yeah.
I have to see, and I have to, and I'm not. I'm not scared.
Do you do anything to help, or you just went to see?
I went to see.
Yeah.
Nick, I don't know how to help. Maybe that might be my next mission. Figure out how to help people.
That could be it, man.
And I'm not a if you tell me what to do, I'll do it. But I can't. It's hard. I don't do well with initiative.
Yeah.
But like, if someone was like, "Hey, there's this mission, and we're gonna go, give out food, or we're gonna go build a house. Do you want to be involved?" Oh, of course. I've never said no to any type of charity work or anything like that, because I've just never taken it. I'm not an initiative taker.
Yeah.
Like, my wife, we were together for 15 years before I asked her to marry me, because she was like, "Listen, man, what she sat down with me and was like, what are we doing right now? What are we doing?" And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I got to do something, right? Like, can't just sit around.
15 years.
Yeah. Yep.
How long y'all been together?
It was 10. It was 10. I exaggerate a little bit, but
how long have y'all been together?
This will be 20 years coming up.
Congratulations.
Oh, we already had our 20 year. Yeah, 20 years of actually officially dating. Yeah, back in August.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we've been married this will be 10 years in May.
And you made it through COVID.
Yeah, COVID ain't over, man. COVID ain't over.
Man, you got 6 months left. By this point, this is normal life right now.
Yeah, COVID ain't over.
The first 6 months of COVID was a little different. That was a little, now we're in the smooth selling COVID now. Like, you're okay with being in the house and hanging out. You know where to go. You know how to. But when it first happened, it created some boundary issues with, like, for me, I was used to getting work done while my wife was at work, the kids were at school, and then it became, they here every day.
Yeah. Yeah, we loved it. We was all together. But like I said, I don't have no work to do, man.
I know what you can do.
What's that?
You can go box.
I ain't boxing. Ain't nobody hitting me, man.
You think you do better than Nate Robinson? Yeah.
Man, I ain't boxing. I do MMA before I would do boxing.
No, why is that?
Because I feel like boxers, the skill level, there's no room for error. Their skill is way beyond anybody's, like, what people actually think. You see anybody can look good hitting a bag.
Yeah.
But their skill and their ability to hit angles and stuff like that, I feel like MMA, I could protect myself at all times, no matter what.
But you have them 4-ounce gloves compared to 10 or 12-ounce gloves.
And I mean, I am a second-degree black belt, so
I was going to talk to you about that.
That's another reason why I feel more comfortable in an MMA fight than I would in a boxing match.
Do you still practice? You still train?
I haven't thrown a kick. No, I haven't done anything probably about 7-8 years.
You ever got into a physical altercation? You ever got into a fight?
Like you mean like in the last? What is the
I mean, like if somebody, like when's the last time you ever fought somebody?
Nick, that is I don't know the statute of limitations on that.
You kick their ass like that?
That could be. I could still might be able to get in trouble. So yeah, I might still be able to get in trouble. So I can't speak on that. There's no proof of that, so it didn't happen. I'm sorry.
So let's go back to Nate Robinson.
Yeah,
he thought he could go in there as an athlete, and the dude outweighed him probably by about 20 pounds.
Night, Nate.
I know it was like 8 or 9 pounds on the scale for the weigh-in, and I know the dude, he had to be over 200 pounds when he stepped in the ring. To Nate's probably sure. 190. Dude, you can't. You have to respect the sport. You can't just say I'm a great athlete. And somebody said something last night that was pretty profound. I know they were making fun of him, but it was like Nate Robinson at 5'9" is like a 2 or 3 time slam dunk champ, but now he's only going to be remembered for getting knocked out. Think about that. Yeah. He's 5'9" and he's won the slam dunk competition in the NBA, and now he's only going to be remembered.
Did he actually win it though 3 times?
I think they gave it to him once or twice. I think he won it the first time.
He actually won. I think he won once.
No, he won it 3 times. I believe.
Don't know.
Did he not?
Wow, I don't know.
He beat Dwight Howard the one time.
That's you know that it is what it is. I think the thing is like I said, boxing is angles, and you can't just go in there swinging like that, man. He didn't know how to fight. First of all,
he spent too much energy in that first round. Once you get tired,
I'd say he looked pretty good in that first round too.
But he's way too aggressive with the jab. He never sit down on any of his punches.
Nothing, none of that. He was always coming forward.
Always coming forward.
And he never kept his hands up. It looked like he was trying to street fight in a boxing match. That don't work.
He got caught with a check hook. Dude walking backwards, hitting with a check hook, man. He went to sleep.
And then the first time he went down, he tried to say they hit him in the back of the head. I'm like, nah, he caught you.
Right above the ear.
Yep.
I think you might, because one thing that you've always had was a gas tank.
Yeah.
Like you can go out there and run all day. You ran that conditioning test in Montreal and then came out there to practice. Like you've always been able to run and run and run and run. It's like Chip don't get tired.
Yeah.
I don't even remember you coming off the field ever and just being like exhausted.
I trained for that.
And everybody can't train for that, Chip.
It's easy to do that though when you like I said, I had a deep it was easy for me because I had a deep passion for it. Just like I mean, like when people are fuss about things that's going on with their wife or something like that, I'm sitting there like, hey, that ain't no big deal. If you love her, that's just what it is, right? Football, it's the same thing. It ain't no big deal. That's what I love to do.
But that's God-given though. Everybody can't train. Like for me, like I trained very hard. I was up to like 1,800 yards sprints before a season.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get in there, you take some hits, it's everything's different.
But would you go lift after you did those 1,800 yards of sprints?
No.
See, that's just about training. I can get you on a strength and conditioning program and get you right back ready to play.
But like I understand what you're saying, but I think it's more God-given. I'm not trying to discredit your work ethic because I know that you have outstanding work ethic because all you do is work out. But what I'm saying is I think a part of it is having that gas tank it's almost like having power in fighters. Some people can just hit harder or naturally knock people out.
Right.
I think that's a God-given trait for
But
you
I
to
couldn't
have.
go into I couldn't do a CrossFit workout and not be dead tired. And actually, you know what? I've done a few CrossFit workouts, and sometimes I'm just like, why? Why am I pushing through this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was never like that for football. So I don't know if it's God given or it was just my will to want to.
Yeah, Romby Bryant used to do that as well. Romby Bryant could run all day. He'd take all the reps. Like he'd take scout team reps and everything and just go.
Yeah. It was the will to want, because if I want to, I can push through it. But I don't, like now sometimes when I'm working out, Nick, I'll just stop.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wait a second, that's what I was doing when I was playing. I don't have to do that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do that no more.
Yesterday, I just completed 251 miles on my spin bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a little Nordic spin bike with the you can
You
ride
did
the
it straight?
No. It just over 31 days.
Over 31 days? Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's good.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So, this month basically starting to December, I'm gonna work on my elevation. So I'm gonna try to get 12 to 15,000 elevation. So I'm gonna focus on climbing more this month than distance.
We should try and get you to live stream into some of our classes that we have at the gym.
Yeah, I'll definitely do it.
Just for the heck of it, because we actually have a Mind Body app now where people can watch it from home because of the COVID stuff. So we diverted into some of that stuff. So people who weren't comfortable coming into the gym, you can watch the group fitness workouts from home. So I don't think our spin classes all are live, but we have some of them that are live.
Okay, that's dope. You teach it?
No, I don't teach any spin classes. My wife teaches spin class, and we have a spin instructor who teaches them. I teach on a backup, like as a backup teacher.
Yeah.
On the spin classes, and mine are a little different than the rest of them. Mine's are not
no
like
music.
rides. Well, no, we have music, but the way my wife and it's my wife's music though. I take her computer in and put it in, but the way they're set up, like the way my wife and our instructor does it, is they're rides to the music or whatever.
Yeah.
They're choreographed to the music basically. And then the way I do it is we'll have music playing, but I have different we're riding and I'm instructing you to turn it up, go hard. Like I plan it a little different. Mine is more of a like a hit ride.
Yeah.
Like a hit workout.
See, I do some hit rides and things like that. And that's why I like that Nordic bike, man. It's like a Peloton. So I could do road courses and ride through different countries. And basically you got bike professionals that's riding in front and they put you through the workout like, okay, we're going to hit it for 2 minutes and then you get this rest and different
those are our
like
competition, man.
Yeah.
Nordic and Peloton is our competition.
That's a good competition to have.
No, not really. We're in two different lanes because obviously people who can afford them.
Yeah, I got something for you though. I got something for y'all. It's gonna be pretty cool. We can talk about that later. But let's talk about you growing up in Ohio. When did you get into sports? And you talk about your kids playing 6 sports a year. When did you get into sports, and how many sports did you play growing up?
I started playing football when I was 5. I was 5 years old because my dad was a basketball player. Like my dad would go play basketball every Saturday and Sunday with his guys and stuff. And a few times he played with Magic and Isaiah. So like he was a pretty good basketball player because he played in those circles when they came to town, obviously.
Yeah.
And obviously I had a basketball when I was young, but I seen football on TV and I'm watching it and I was like, Mom, I want to play that. And my mom was like, okay. And then I went to my dad. I'm like, Dad, I want to play that. He's like, all right, get out of here. Like, whatever. And I went back to my mom, like, no, Mom, I want to play that. Yeah. And my mom was like, all right. Next day, took me out to the football field. And the rest is history. I fell in love with it. And then, growing up, I played basketball sparingly on different teams and stuff like that, but it was never serious for me. It was just something to do. And maybe I just wasn't good enough or something. I don't know. And I did track also. So when I got to high school, I could run, and I've always been able to run. And I didn't even run track until my junior year of high school. So
why is that?
I wasn't interested in it.
Texas, they make you run track pretty much.
And I wasn't interested in them. You know, all the football players that I was faster than. First of all, I didn't even start in high school. I didn't even start till my senior year of high school with football.
Really?
Yes. So like my whole high school career, it was me and my dad working out. And obviously I was on the team, but I wasn't starting. And my dad and me, we were going to the field, working out after practice and going to the gym in the off season and working out and stuff like that. And I wasn't even a starter, but my dad was like, if this is what you want to do, we're going to give it all we got.
Yeah.
So, you know, with that, and then my senior year came, actually it was the last 4 games of my junior year I started because a guy got in trouble for skipping class. So when he got in trouble for skipping class, I was the next man up. Mind you, when I found out he was skipping class, I was skipping class. So when I found out he was skipping class, I was like, oh, okay. I went back to class. And that was the night of the game, and it was the number 1 team in the state that we were playing. I don't know if they were number 1 in the state or number 1 in the city, you know, something like that. And we were number 2 in the city. I knew that because they were in front of us in the city. Yeah. And I think we were ranked number 5 in the state at the time. And I found out I was starting. They had 2 receivers that were D1, already had pretty much D1 offers and stuff. And I go out there at corner, and the rest is pretty much history from that. Because from that game, I had college scouts coming in, and I'm like, this is my first game playing. Like, scouts were flying in, talking to me, and everything like that. Basically the hard work and me and my dad going out in the field just put in. It paid off right then and there.
Yeah. Were you small in high school?
I was small up until I grew my junior year.
And I was just fat.
My wife was taller than me. My wife was taller than me until our junior year. That's what we did. Yeah, did you hear her? She said that's why we didn't date till then.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. No, but yeah, I was small, but yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know. I knew I could play. That's all I knew. Because I seen the guys that were playing in front of me. I knew I played with them in Little League, and I was better than them. And I just kept saying, like, as soon as I get my chance, and from then on, I never came off the field.
So running track, starting your junior year, you started the last 4 games. Going into your senior year, what was the mentality? Was it like, okay, I'm going to play college football?
I knew I was going to play college football because I had already told teams. At that point, I had already told schools that I probably wasn't going to come to their school.
Why is that?
Because I didn't want to leave the state, and I thought I was like, I thought I was going to Ohio State. Period.
Okay, what happened?
I thought I was going to Ohio State. I believed I was going to Ohio State. Remind you, I was a dreamer because who keeps working out when they're not even playing at that young of an age? Who doesn't get sidetracked? You know, I never got sidetracked. I stayed the course. So I was always a dreamer, and I always believed in myself.
Yeah.
So I told a few teams that I even didn't even go to the Michigan State, or no, not Michigan State. I didn't go to Penn State's camp, and they really wanted me to come to their camp. And I was like, no, I'm not coming to the camp because I'm not even going to I know I'm not coming to Penn State. So, you know, I had told a few teams that, and it was just, because I'm going to Ohio State. They're like, well, have they offered you? No, but I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm not worried about that. Y'all don't understand what I've already gone through. Like, that's what I'm saying in my mind. So then after my senior year, Ohio State, they asked me to come to a practice and watch a practice. I came to the practice, watched the practice. The recruiting coordinator at the time was I can't even remember his name now. I'll figure it out eventually. And he told me, he's like, listen, if Nate Clemens goes pro, we'll probably offer you a scholarship, because I don't know how it works. So I'm like, okay, now at this point, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Because I had already taught, like, when you go to those practices in colleges and stuff, you're around those guys. So like you hear their conversations. There was another DB who said, he was on the sideline. He was like, I'm going to play 1 year at this school and I'm out. I'm going pro. And I'm sitting there like, really? Okay, cool. And Nate Clemens was like, well, shit. He told him he said something like, well, I'm out after this year. He whispered that. And then the coach told me that if Nate Clemens go pro, we'll probably offer you a scholarship. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm telling everybody, forget that. I'm going to Ohio State. I told every school, it didn't matter. I even sat in Indiana's office. I don't know if they were going to offer me or not, but he asked me, well, if Ohio State offers you and we offer you, will you go to Ohio State? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Ohio State. And he was like, why? I said, because they're better. And my dad looked at me like, and my dad's sitting right beside me. He looked at me like this, like, and then he looked back at the coach like, well, that's my son. And that's what we're going with. So, I really had a lot of confidence in myself. So that didn't work out. When Nate Clemens went pro, all the coaches got fired. And Jim Tressel came in, and obviously he went after the big guys. I wasn't a big name guy because I had only played really 1 year of high school football. So
how'd you choose Ohio?
It was my wife was going there, and I wasn't leaving the state at the time.
Yeah. I
told South Carolina when they came and visited me, and they were recruiting another guy in the area, but they were in my living room. And I said, well, how far is South Carolina from here? And he was like 10, 11 hours. And I went, forget that. I ain't going there. And this is when Lou Holtz was there. And this guy was like, it was the D coordinator or D back coach. He said, son, do you understand who their coach is? He's like, son, do you understand who our coach is? I was like, it don't matter. Care. Don't matter. I'm not going. That's too far from home. I said, Dad, that's too far from home. I ain't going that far. He was like, crazy. My dad was like, all right, son, like whatever you say. But yeah, like.
Did you find a difference playing in Ohio when you had D1 offers or like big time D1 offers, like Power 5, and you're playing football against a different quality of opponent at For Ohio? Sure. I mean, did you feel like you were at home, like me at Division II? I was a Division II walk-on. So There was times where I almost transferred after my freshman year to North Texas. I almost transferred after my sophomore year to Texas Tech because that's where my dad went. But in the back of my mind, it was like, I know that I can compete at a higher level, and I probably should be competing at a higher level. Right? So for you had scholarship offers. And you end up.
I don't even think I had scholarship offers because I never gave them an opportunity to even offer me. So it never was even in my mind that I was offered by this school or that school. I never gave those schools even a time. I told those schools that I wasn't coming. Like I was like, I can't come there. It's too far. I'm not leaving the state. Like I'm going to Ohio State. Like I told those schools that. I think I turned a lot of people off before they even.
You was in love early, Chip.
Yeah, I knew what I wanted. I always knew what I wanted. Just like with football, I knew I wanted to play football. People even in college would laugh at me like, when they in college you have those classes where sometimes they say, well, what do you want to do when you graduate?
Yeah.
Even in college, I'm like, when I don't care about graduating, I'm gonna play football. And they look at me like, dude, you in college? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you got to have a plan for when you graduate. I said, my plan is to play football. Like, what are we talking about? You got your plan, I got my plan. So, I mean, yeah, I was in love early, and I don't regret the decision at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I will guide my son to do things a little bit different.
But you
obviously.
But you had so much conviction in what you wanted to do. And you talked about will earlier, the will to push yourself through. It's like your life is almost just about will to create the life you wanted to live.
And that's what, and I told one of my, I don't remember if I told my oldest daughter or if I told my my middle daughter, but I was like, I am living the life that I had planned on when I was 7, 8 years old. I can honestly say that.
Yeah.
Like, I am living the life that I planned on. I thought I'd have a little more money because I thought it'd be the NFL, not the CFL. You know, I'm gonna be honest with that. 100%. I thought my mistake was I said I want to play football for a living. I didn't say I wanted to play in the NFL.
100%.
You know, so that was the only mistake I feel like I made.
When you were at Ohio,
#1 party school in the nation when I was there.
Man, come on, man. Ain't nobody. Ohio ain't got nothing on saying. What is it?
You better
Arizona State and Texas State.
Me and my Halloween.
Chip, you don't party. You don't drink. You don't party.
I understand that. We're not talking about me. I'm talking about my school. We're not talking about me. We're talking about the school right now. I said the school was the #1 party school in the nation.
Hey, you ran a 4.37.
Yes, the school was.
Was that your fastest 40 time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that your fastest 40 time you ever ran?
That's what I did. That was what I ran when I ran my 40 for the scouts. I did no training for running. I did not sprint at all. All I did was DB drills and movement drills because I read the report on me and it said that I had a problem transitioning or something. It says something like that. So that's what I worked on for the 3 months up until my pro day my pro day at Ohio State that I went to. So I didn't even run. All I did was like the DB drills and stuff like that and lift. Yeah. So I ran a 4.3. My fastest time in the 40 is a 4.32.
That's
on an Accu track.
That's moving.
Yeah, on the Accu track.
I could run a 4.3, probably 34.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my fastest time on the Accu track. But right now, I could probably drop a 4.4.
Yeah, right now?
I could probably run a 4.4. Yeah, I could probably run a 4.4 right now.
You're going to tear everything in your system.
Nah.
You run track in college?
Yep, I ran track in college.
How was that?
But I only ran track. I only ran on the meet days. I only showed up on meet days.
Did you win anything?
Man, the MAC conference, when I was running, we had a guy running 9.99. We had a guy running, the top 5 guys was under 10.2. So no, I didn't win nothing.
What's your fastest 100?
My fastest 100 is a 10.5.
That's moving.
Yeah, but I wasn't a track guy. I was a football guy. So I just showed up to the track meets and ran. Our coach told us we couldn't. The football coach told us we couldn't run track unless we scored points in meets for the team. So as long as I was scoring,
you was able to run track.
I was able to run track.
Do you love working out? Like, do you have like a genuine passion to work hard?
I like working out. It's leaving me a little bit. The passion is leaving because I find it harder to go work out now because I don't have a why. Yeah. You know, when I had a why to work out, I did enjoy it. I loved it. But now I'm like, why do I need to huff and puff? Why I need to burn? Why do I need to push through this? Yeah. What's the why now? It's like you want to look, you know, people work out for different reasons. People work out to look good, to be healthy. Well, I'm already all of those. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing now? You know, now it's a little harder now, but you put me in a room to compete.
See, I compete with myself. Like when I get on that bike, it's like I can't even do the recovery rides because I don't know how to not compete. Like I feel like, oh, I gotta go.
Right, and that's another thing. Like we're working, like because I know what I've done. Yeah. So like when I'm working out, it's like I don't have to be where I was at. But if in my mind, it's like, what you mean you don't have to be where you was at? if you can do this, you need to be doing this.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard for me. I'm like, it's frustrating because I'm battling back and forth with the competing with myself, but it's like I don't have to compete with myself because then it keeps that edge on like, well, you can still do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm trying to lose that edge where I can watch football and be like, man, this fool just got outran by a 250-pound running back. Like, ain't no 250-pound running back in the NFL outrunning me, or like, ain't no 250-pound guy outrunning me.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I have to lose, like, I'm trying to lose that edge where I'm like, so I'm trying not to compete with myself, because if I compete with myself, the numbers and everything stay the same. So it's always like, I have a feeling like, well, I can still do this.
Yeah. At what point at Ohio? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was cool.
I was gonna say, what point in Ohio did you realize that you could play at the next level?
Man, I always knew I could play at the next level. When I seen guys that I had played against in like camps and stuff at bigger schools and doing well at those bigger schools, and I'm like, man, I can play against this guy. And then my sophomore year, we played Pitt. And I didn't know who this guy was, but they kept throwing jump balls.
Calvin Johnson?
No, just
he was
hear me out.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, so they kept throwing jump balls, and I'm like, man, why they keep throwing jump balls to this sorry dude? And in my mind, I'm saying this to myself.
That was Fitz.
And I'm right.
Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah.
So then he go the next week and tear Miami up. They got Antrell Rose. They got all them boys. All them boys is first round picks. I mean, he tore them up. And I'm like, wait a second, that's the same. I'm scratching my head like, wait, what? All right, well, I mean, I can play football on any level. Like, at that point, I can play on any level. And that's where it was with me. Like, I just stopped this guy. He didn't score a touchdown. His touchdown streak started after me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't know who he was because Nick, I don't know people.
You don't watch Sports Center.
Right. I don't watch Sports Center.
I remember one time in the locker room, I was talking to you about, we were talking about something, and you were like, man, I don't watch these guys play. You didn't watch the CFL when you played it.
Yeah. No.
Like, you didn't care about who guys were.
Mm-mm.
You just knew if they lined up across from me, they're going to get this work.
They're going to get the work, and we're going to go. I mean, you can beat me once, but hey, I'm coming back. Like, it didn't matter. Didn't matter who they were.
When you were coming
I didn't know G-Roy and Milt were legends like that until my third year. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was like, okay, they keep talking about these dudes. Like, okay. And then when they retired, and I'm like looking at everything, I'm like, oh, these guys were, and me as a rookie, and I was out there playing. Milt telling me, quit holding me. I'm like, shut up, man, just get open. Shut up, get open. Don't tell me what I'm doing. I'm telling you what you ain't doing. It's just get open. None of that ever, it didn't matter. I just wanted to play football, man.
Yeah. When you were coming out of Ohio, you got picked up by NFL team. You get drafted, Detroit. You go free agent.
I went free agent to Detroit Lions.
How was that experience?
I enjoyed the experience because I was me 100%. If I could look back and tell a younger me anything, it would probably be just keep your cool. You can play ball, just keep your cool.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how I'm better than somebody and I wasn't playing. But obviously with football, when you have money invested in somebody, you have to let them play and you have to get them on the field. And I told one of the starting, because I moved to safety then.
Yeah.
At Ohio, I was playing corner. And in my senior year, I asked the coach, I said, to help our team out, move me to safety. I can make more plays and we have a guy who can play corner. And that was the conversation I had going into my senior year at Ohio. So I had only played safety for a year. So when Detroit picked me up, they played me at safety. in my mind, when this guy was talking to me, I can't remember his name, but I felt I was better than him. I told him, man, how you gonna tell me what to do? You've been playing this position your whole life. I only been playing it for a year, and I'm already better than you. I told that guy that, like, get out my face, like, don't talk to me.
Is that why you don't talk, Chip?
Because
is that why you're quiet?
I'm a little thrown off. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I ever say something,
I'm gonna go ape shit on your ass, Chip.
Yeah, it's even like. So like in Detroit, it was so frustrating to me with like I wouldn't change the experience for anything because I've grown from there. But like me watching somebody who I felt I was better than, I was making more plays than. I had the coach grab like one time I was on scout team and I picked off the starters and I ran it all the way back in, true fashion like you're supposed to do. The head coach grabbed me by the face mask and said, "You think you a star? You think you're a star? You won't be a star here." And I'm like, "What you mean? Like, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to make it hard for your team to I'm playing football."
Yeah.
One time in the locker room, one of the older receivers, older guy, I say older, he was probably only 30 at the time, maybe not even that old, but one of the older guys, vets, came up to me and was like, "Yo, you got to watch who you hitting in practice. Because the front office doesn't like, you hitting the guys you hitting guys in practice."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and me, I'm thinking,
can't risk that injury at practice, man, with that money on the line.
I understand all of that, but we only had one collision, and it was a jump ball.
Yeah, you
so in my mind,
with that.
That it was a jump ball with Roy Williams. Is that the boy from Texas?
Yep.
Mind you, he was a phenomenal receiver too.
Yeah, he was. That dude used to roll. He ran like a 10-300 in high school.
He caught he caught the best, craziest pass I ever seen in practice on Dre Bly. And I was just like, man, that guy is awesome. But this was before he caught that pass. We had a collision where we went up for a jump ball, and I was going for the ball, he was going for the ball, and I went through his arms, and he fell. Football, that's a good play.
And it's an interesting dynamic for rookies coming in football because you do have that element of learning how to practice. With two guys going up for a ball, letting them go ahead and catch it, but just knowing that you were there to make I could have made the play. I was there, but I know I got to let this guy make this catch and land so I don't get hurt and he don't get hurt.
Right, exactly.
Right, but when you're trying to make a team,
and
the only thing you can think about is I need to make plays.
And especially coming from where I come from, I sat down for 3 years watching people play that I was better than.
Yeah.
In just 4 years ago in high school, I had been looked over for a long time. So now I'm like, ain't no room for, I got to show everybody that I can play and that was pretty frustrating. And then one time, so that happened, and I was that frustrated me even more. And then the next situation that happened in Detroit, O lineman squirted me with some water, and that wasn't going. And it was this, I didn't realize this is their second round draft pick. He talking stuff, and I took off. I fired on him. Everybody broke it up before anything really happened, and I was like, man, we can take this in the locker room away from everybody.
Man, you too light skinned to be fighting, Chip.
And it didn't matter. Like, I know, man. I grew up light skinned in the hood, man. So I always, I'm just gonna fight. It is what it is. Like, but yeah, so we got into it, and the guy was like, man, you gotta calm down. Like, they didn't, guys don't. I'm like, what you mean? He squirted me with water. Like, what are we talking about right here? Like, and I told him we can handle this. We can go outside.
Yeah.
This is a NFL offensive lineman. I didn't care. Like, I was.
You and Ron got a lot of the same traits.
Yeah. But that was another situation that happened to me in Detroit. What else? And then the final straw was when Monday Night Football came up, and guys were out there missing tackles, and I'm a stickler for missing tackles. I just, I don't do that. So I'm sitting there watching guys miss tackles, and the coach was like, well, the special teams coach came over and was like, do you want to play? And that was it. What you mean, do I want to play? And I went off. And then the next day I was gone. I mean, I went off on the sideline. What you mean, do I want to play? You see these guys out here missing tackles? I ain't missed that many tackles in my life, let alone in one game.
Yeah.
Well, what you mean, do I want to play? Put me on the fucking field and see if I want to play.
100%.
He put me out there. He did put me out there, and I went out there and made the next tackle, but I ain't make no more. I ain't make no more after that. You know, I didn't make any more after that. I was on the next thing smoking. And that's a funny thing too. When I got home, my dad didn't let me come back in the house. He had my bags packed and sent me back to school and was like, "You gonna go graduate now?" You know, and I was like, wait, what? He's like, "No, go back to school. You're already enrolled. You're going back to school. Go graduate. Go get your degree." And then that's when he said that to me. The CFL wanted me to come up that year in 2005. And I was like, no, because I shouldn't have got cut from where I just got cut from. Like, I need.
I'm gonna get picked up somewhere.
Yeah, I'm like, no. I'm thinking in my mind, no, I need a backup plan now because that shouldn't have happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't, because I'm naive thinking the best players, period, it don't matter. But in actuality, you can't have a guy on your team who's yelling at coaches, fighting with everybody. Okay, he can play football, but you know, because I'm naive. I'm thinking the best player didn't matter.
Yeah.
Nah. And I was like, I'm going back to school. Like, well, I got to graduate because anything can happen in this world. Like anything that wasn't supposed to happen. I was better than those guys. Like I should be playing football. So I better get a degree just in case.
What'd you get your degree in?
Psychology, health, communications, and physical education.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But I don't know what I want to do. To do anything, I got to go back to school and get another degree, right?
Not today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you go to Montreal, 2006.
2006. So I graduated and went to Montreal. So actually, I went to Montreal at the end of my senior year, like my end of my finishing up college.
Yeah.
And when I made the team in Montreal that year, I drove back that same day that Don Matthews sat me in his office and said, "You made the team." And I said, "Well, coach, I appreciate it, but I have a graduation. Then I'm the first one graduating from college in my family. I have a graduation tomorrow at 9:00 in the morning. Am I allowed to leave and go to that?" And Don Matthews said, "Absolutely." I got in the car and drove 12 hours to walk the stage and then drove back right after I walked the stage to Montreal for practice. That was like one of the best days of my life besides my kids being born, getting married. And then that was one of the best days because it was justified that I made a professional football team, and I was writing all the things that I had been saying. I was good enough to play professional football, and I graduated from college, something that has not happened in my family at that point.
Yeah.
So it was one of the best days.
Your mentality doesn't really fit Montreal.
Well, why we say that?
Because Montreal is like a party city. Montreal's like, and you're like low key.
Yeah.
Like, but as far as I'm talking about the city, not the.
I got you.
But as far as the team goes, you had some guys that you got to play with for multiple years: Gerald Brown, Billy Parker, John Bowman, Anwar Stewart. Can you just talk about some of the guys you got to play with in Montreal and kind of how they helped you along the way, or how your dynamics played together? And because we know how hard it is to be able to play with the same people for an extended period of time.
Right. It was a blessing to be able to play with those guys for that long. I could call any of those guys right now and they pick up the phone or call me back, you know, and we go right back into where we were at the time we were playing. It'd be like we hadn't missed a beat. Hey, you know, catch up on what's going on, what you doing, and then, you know, right back into man, remember this and this and that, and me and Billy, we still talk through text message, emails, and we still communicate at least once or twice a week.
Yeah,
maybe every 2 weeks. But with me and Billy, and Bo and I, we communicate about every 2 months. And Kai, I mean, I still go. Me and Kai,
y'all just had a family vacation, huh?
Yeah. That we're pretty much family. We see each other. And obviously, if this COVID wasn't going on, I'd probably be going to see Billy and them play down in South Carolina because, I mean, that's somebody who's really close. But it was a blessing to be able to play with those guys. Anwar, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'm pretty sure that if I called him, it'd be right back to, "What's up, light skin? What you doing?" That type of thing. And obviously, it's easier to stay in touch and see what's going on with people now with social media.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to Gerald in a while, but I actually tried to call him not too long ago. That fool ain't text me back or call me back. So, it was a blessing to play with those guys, and I would definitely say Billy had a lot to do with some of my success because he and I, we would go work out early in the morning before practice, and just having somebody the consistency to just willing to put in the work with you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always by myself. And then Marcus Stale.
Yeah.
That's one guy that also me and him, we would put in the work together. And yeah, man, playing with those guys for so long, it was like they should get a lot of credit too. And I mean, those guys probably, it'll be far-fetched for them to reach the Hall of Fame, but they're Hall of Fame caliber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're definitely Hall of Fame caliber, and they, especially I'm speaking on more Mark, Billy, and Gerald. They're definitely Hall of Fame caliber. Yeah. Bowman is going to be there.
And will already be in there.
And will more than likely be in also.
Yeah.
So, but I'm talking more Mark, and if Mark doesn't hit you messed up Mark's career.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you this. I'll tell you like I told Mark that night in BC. If I don't catch you from behind, and I didn't horse collar you, right? It'd be different if I'd have horse collared and grabbed you.
Nah, I know, Nick. You felt bad about that.
I felt horrible.
As hard as you played and as rough as as physical as you were in at that time in your career, you never wanted anybody to get hurt. And yeah. I remember you saying that the first time I ever said something to you was like, man, I didn't. He's like, that messed with me. You said that one time to me, like that messed with me for a while, that I ended that man's career and he was having such a great year.
Because this is how we support ourselves and support our family. Right. You never want to go out there and hurt someone.
Right.
I mean, you try to make a play and
exactly.
It was a culmination of even me running him over the time before that, right? So there's some things that happen, but yeah. I
mean, and I know that, and like I say, Mark, if he doesn't get hurt, then ain't no telling what we'd be talking about with him too. His career probably be just now fizzling out. Also, he probably would have played for a lot longer.
So we have an interesting dynamic too. So after the 08 Grey Cup, when I got TJ Hill cut.
Okay.
You moved over to Sam.
Yep.
Because you used to play in the boundary, then you moved over to Sam. What was that switch like?
It was, for me, at first I was like, well, when I first got to Montreal, take you back 2006.
Yeah.
When I first got there, they were trying to get me to play Sam. I didn't know what that was. That sounded like a linebacker. That was a linebacker coming from where I'm coming from. I'm like, no, I ain't no linebacker. I'm a DB.
Yeah.
I'm a DB. What you talking? Well, how you like that? Because they put me there in camp for like 2 or 3 practices. How you like that position? I don't. Not thinking that I'm actually doing the same thing that I was doing before. I was just looking at the tag on it. I don't. What you mean you don't? I don't like it. It's a linebacker. dumb me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, switching over in 2000, and when I did it in 2009, it was no longer about me. You know, it was about the team. And it hurt to see TJ cut because we were so cool. We were close. Like our whole group, we were real tight. So when TJ got cut, it was like, dang, you know what I mean? And we didn't know Billy and Gerald at the time.
They just came in from arena football.
They had just came in.
Arena folded.
So my question was, well, shit, if I couldn't play Sam, would I have been cut? You know? Yeah. That was my question to coach. I didn't even think nothing else. It was like, if I couldn't play Sam, would I have been cut? You know, that's what it was. And he was like, no, we just would have figured, you know, they give you that bull crap. So you don't know where that would have took.
I think Gerald could have played Sam too, though. He was physical.
Yeah, he could have for sure. But
and he was
that
smart.
was my question. And
super smart.
But I mean, when it switched over, I was like, all right, this is for the team.
Yeah.
You know, and mind you, we had just came off of losing the Grey Cup at home. And that hurt bad, losing to y'all. And then
it felt good.
Y'all, I bet you it did, man. But it felt even better. It felt even better the next year when we went and won on y'all's turf, and y'all didn't want to show up to the party. Y'all was scared.
Yeah,
we got our get back.
It should have been the best of 3. 8, 9, and 10 should have been
for sure
in the Grey Cup.
And I even but yeah, that was moving over to Sam. I knew it was for the team, and at that point, I just wanted to win a championship, and I had just lost one. I had lost 2 because I lost in 2006 and I lost in 2008. So I had lost 2 championships at this point.
Yeah.
Now at this point,
Edmonton, right? In overtime?
We lost to BC in 2006. In Winnipeg.
It was BC. Yeah, it was. There you go.
In Winnipeg, and that was the coldest game. My wife still has chills from that game. She still has chills from that game. But yeah, so at that point, I had lost two championships, and I didn't want to lose again.
Yeah.
I know I needed a championship. And when I got cut from Washington in 2007, I told some reporter or something, I said, well, that's cool. I was like, it's all right, because I'm going to go back to the CFL. I'm going to dominate, and I'm going to win me a championship. I was like, and I said, I left something in Canada anyway. And they were like, well, what's that? A championship. Like, because 2006, I didn't win. We lost. So 2007, when I got cut from Washington, I'm like, well, it's okay. I left something in Canada anyway. And they were like, what's that? I was like, I left a championship up there, so I got to get a championship.
Yeah.
So then 2008, when we lose it again, I'm like, man, what's going on? What are we doing? I had no idea that they were planning on moving me to Sam until the end of training camp. They took me to Toronto, and they're like, we're going to have you play Sam for 1 series. And I'm like, what? And I was like, and I'm looking around like, wait a minute, why am I the only vet here? And coach came to me and was like, we're going to have you play Sam for 1 series. And I was like, all right. He's like, I don't want you to do nothing else. I want you to play Sam 1 series. Don't let them put you in at special teams. Don't let them do nothing. 1 series. And I was like, okay. So I went in, started at Sam. I think I got a sack that preseason game, and they pulled me out right then and there. And then the next day I found out TJ and them were cut. The TJ got cut, and I was like, dang. But then
that sack got him cut. Maybe you got TJ cut.
I was like, dang, like, all right, well, you know, it hurt. You know, you go through those emotions of a teammate, somebody who you, you know, built a relationship with being cut, losing their job. But then it was like, all right, I got a new position to learn. And I'm playing his position. And it's like, it was weird for me for a little bit. But Coach Burke brought me in and was like, listen, I know, you know, the emotions that you have with TJ and you guys are real cool and stuff like that. He's like, but I want you to try and learn this position. And I think you could be really good at it. And at that point, like I'm saying, I just want to win a championship.
Yeah.
So I'm all in on whatever the coaches are saying because we wasn't going to lose again. It wasn't going to happen. So the rest is history, man.
I feel just thinking back about all that stuff, man. All those situations that go on. Thinking just great career. Like just looking back at the records you broke in Montreal, the CFL records. how you willed yourself to this point. Like looking back over it all right now, just thinking about it after talking about it, how do you feel about that?
Will is a powerful thing. If you believe it, I mean, then there was no doubt. If you have any increment of doubt of what you're going to do, it might not happen. But if you have 100% faith and will that that's going to happen, more than likely, and you're taking the proper steps to make it happen, more than likely it's going to happen. More than likely it's going to happen.
You got a great support system with your family, man. It's always awesome to see that, right?
Yeah.
And you know, we get 2 days off and you're driving or to Ohio and coming back. Like,
all right,
like
check
this
this
dude
out.
crazy.
Here's a story. All right, we played. What year was Kyla's first year of kindergarten, or was it Kaylin's first year?
When we played in Hamilton.
Yes.
And then you drove home. We flew in. You drove home. Took her to school and then drove back to the game.
Exactly. You drove back to the game.
And then you drove back to Ohio after the game with your dad.
Yep. Because that was, I mean, okay.
Just to take her to school for the first time.
First time. I didn't want to miss her first day of school. I didn't want to miss my daughter's first day of school. That's something dad should be there for. If you can, obviously, if there's a way. If I was out in BC, 100%, I wouldn't have been able to make it.
Yeah.
But if there's a way, who is number one in your life at this point? That's number one. If there's a way to make it happen, you have to figure out that way and make it happen. And my kids and my wife are number one in my life. So that is a pinnacle point for her starting school. That's a starting point. That's something you want to be there for. And since I could be there, there was a window, a gap after meetings to where I didn't have to see you guys again until to the game time. I knew I could make it back in time for the game. So I had to do it because it's what's important to you in life.
I watch your wife on Instagram be such a supportive fan of the kids at all their sporting events.
Yes, she makes me look bad. She makes me look bad, doesn't she?
Especially the flag football games.
Oh yeah,
the flag football games.
The thing is, me and my wife, we can't even sit beside each other when at our girls' events because we're both so like into it, and we're like, "What are we doing?" And we get into like, so we sit completely opposite ends of the gym so we can express ourselves without. Yeah, like she's a coach, so like we're into it. Like this is what we do. We love to see our kids compete. So I don't care if they're playing, as long as they're going their hardest. If they're not the best, I don't care. But you have to be working as hard as you can.
You got to go out there and give effort.
Yeah, you got to give effort. So like, man, I'm into it. Whatever. It's. I don't care if you're good at it. Just give effort. Just go hard. Like when they're out there playing against some of the boys in flag football, I'm not mad that these boys are better than their team because those boys' teams have been playing for a long time. My girls have just their team was just assembled this year and they had never played football before in their life. But like I would get frustrated if they weren't running hard or if they, the little things that you have to do.
That's it.
And it was like,
but those are life lessons.
Yeah, just go. Like if you chose to do this, we didn't make you play football. You told me this is what you want to do. So if you want to do it, go do it hard.
That's it.
Yeah.
I just wish I had an Instagram video of her cheering you on when I was on the other side and her getting frustrated that you couldn't stop me from catching the ball.
Oh, stop, Nick. Your 1 yard catches, man.
But every catch I made got you closer to that 1,000. So maybe I should come back to assist you in that 1,000. Because I know I can get 21 catches on you in 2 years.
20. Wait a second. Remember what
you said. Give me 3 games. I got 21 catches on
you. Remember what you said at the beginning of the interview.
I ain't breaking no tackles.
No, you ain't. But you also said at the beginning of it, I covered you in practice, and you said, "Well, maybe I'm done."
Yeah. No, I'm just messing.
Nah,
that's one of the coolest things though, Chip, about this whole dynamic is for me not knowing you at all before I got to Montreal,
Yeah.
and even for I would say you don't talk to a lot of people.
No, I don't know. Because so many people take me. I mean, every time I've ever spoken, I've been pretty much taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've had so much frustration built up in certain things, and I let things build up, like my Detroit situation, my high school situation. Those things were frustrating to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this situation with not playing football is frustrating, but I'm more vocal about it because I've learned, who I'm gonna blow up on next. I came up with my family. I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have to be more vocal about it, and I have to get it out and talk about it because I've seen the effects of me keeping my frustrations in over the years.
Yeah.
It got me cut in Detroit. It got me, I wouldn't change it for the world, but I lost a lot of scholarship offers by just telling them no. Those type of things because I knew what I was doing. Like, and just I have to talk a little more now because I don't get to hit people either for a living.
Yeah. And like now you'll pick up the phone and call me or I'll hit you sometimes and
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, that's pretty cool, man. Cause Chip I never thought you liked me until because I remember
Nick, I
even
didn't
on the
like
bus,
you until
even on the bus that one day you were like, dude, like I used to hate you.
Yeah, I
And
did.
then,
Like honestly,
yeah.
I did. And then when I got to know who you were and be around you, and I'm like, you a cool dude. Like I didn't like you, to be honest. But there's a lot of people I don't like, just because that was my job to not like. I can't play against you and like you.
Why not?
Man, listen, it just don't work out well for me if I like you and I play against you. I can't. I can't. Like I'm an older brother, so like. I'm not gonna if I'm playing against my little brother, I can't be pushing him down and like I'm trying to nurture him and make him better. I can't, if I like you, I'm trying to make you better.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, I don't give a dang if you get better or not.
Yeah.
It's one of those type of things. It's yeah. But there's a lot of guys I didn't like playing when I played against them. I mean, I didn't like John Cornish. I don't even know him. I'm pretty sure he's a cool dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like John.
Okay, well then then I'm justified in that. No, I'm kidding, but like that's just one guy that came to name because of how things happened on the field with him, and then I'm like, how does dude, when he got hurt by Kai, that situation, it was like, well, dude, the play before that, you was talking stuff about Marco, get off the field and don't come around here. You weren't this is football. Like let's make
Who
sure
hit
he's
Marco?
okay. I think you hit Marco. You know what I mean? I think
man,
you hit
I
Marco.
crushed Marco. Hey,
yes,
but I love Marco.
Yeah, for sure. But like, that's one reason why I didn't like John Cornish. Because then when that happened to him, he wanted to go and tell the media and have different foundations canceled and things like that. And I'm like, wait a second, nobody knows how you were talking just 2 plays before when Marco got hit.
Yeah,
it's like, and Kai was justified in coming back, protecting his in his teammates' honor. Like it didn't have to be a clothesline like that, but
that was a lariat. That was that was Lex Luger off the rope. Clothesline.
Yeah, but it was like in Kai's mind, he's like, well, you just said that was okay. Anything goes, because that's what Cornish said. Cornish said anything goes. This is football.
Yeah.
You can't speak those type of words, and then when it happens, oh no, it's not anything goes. You can't retract them now because we know what you said. And I'm not happy he got hurt by no means, but what I'm saying is don't put that out. And then when it comes to you, it would be like saying, I don't give a dang if somebody get hurt, but then when I get hurt on the football field, oh, feel sorry for me. And no, man, you don't care if anybody get hurt, remember?
2022, you're eligible to go into the CFL Hall of Fame.
Emma?
Is it something you think about? Is it something you care about?
Not really. I think like I told somebody the other day. I think more about going up in the Raptors in Montreal, because those are the names that I would see when I came out in the stadium and when I played, and that's where I put my blood, sweat, and tears in. That going up in that ring of honor would mean more to me than the Hall of Fame, because I think I visited the Hall of Fame once or twice. And I was like, this would be cool to be there. But as soon as I got to Montreal and I seen names up, that was the first time I had seen names up. Because like at my college, at OU, there were no names. There were no names up. At my high school, there were no names in the stadium. So when I got to Montreal, I looked up at the stadium and I seen names there. And, that's where I was like, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be up there with those names. At that point, it gave me something to shoot for. But in college, all we had was records for like vertical, 40, bench press, those type of records. So that's where I wanted to be. But when I got to Montreal, I look up and I see these names. I didn't know who those names were. I just knew I wanted to be up with those names. And that's where I wanted my name to be. And every time I went out on that field, that's what I was trying to accomplish.
It'd be good to see your name up
and
there.
that's probably one of the reasons I never left.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I probably never left either, because at some points in my career, I probably could have made more money other places. And, I probably could have made a lot more money in other places because I probably wouldn't have taken a discount or the team discount. But it was never the money. It was, I want to be up in those, and up there with those names, because that's something I set out to do.
13 years, man, a lot of tackles, a lot of success.
Yeah.
2 great cups, a wonderful family. I don't know if you can ask for much more in life, but man, I tell you what, I appreciate you for joining me.
No problem,
podcast, man.
Anytime.
And if you decide to go back, just remember, you start the clock all over again.
No, because I was
I'm talking about the 4-year clock to go up there.
Oh, that's fine. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, you'll start that clock all over again.
I'm in no hurry to get anything at this point in my life. I'm in no hurry to get anything done. Time could pause right now, and I could live in this moment that I'm in my life, because everything is so great. Like, I don't want my kids to grow up and move out of the house. Like that's gonna be it's gonna be a great day, but it's gonna be a sad day for me, because then I'm stuck with my wife. No, I'm just kidding. But no.
I mean, you followed her everywhere in life. Hey, how's it going? You followed her everywhere in life.
Yeah, I did.
You followed her to the University of Ohio.
That's exactly why I went to OU. It was because I knew she was going there. And we were gonna go to, after my freshman year, we got an offer to go to Indiana, because my defensive coordinator went to Indiana from OU and he was like, listen, man, I'm going over here to Indiana. I know you can play in this conference. You can start, you be up against better talent. He gave me the whole spiel to recruit me. And then he was like, I'll even give her scholarship money. And I was like, what? So we looked, me and my wife looking at each other. We were just dating at the time. I'm just like, man, I made this commitment to come to this school. I'm just going to stay here. But, she's always been a part of the deal, even when I was a knucklehead.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Always.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. This is another great edition of the Lulu Logic Podcast. We out. Peace.
Peace.